sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m.
With Adrian Kennedy.
I'm Adrian Kennedy, and this man here is our show producer, Mr. Jeremy Dixon.
I'm good, thanks for asking.
I didn't ask, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm okay. But we've a couple of issues that we're going to deal with in the next 20 minutes. Something that I experienced over the weekend that I shared on social media, and it got a huge reaction and has divided opinion. It's something that was commonplace if you grew up in the 80s or 70s or even the 90s, but nowadays it's something that appears to be frowned upon. What am I talking about? What is this man talking about? Well, you can find out in about 10 minutes.
Now, yeah. You have a story for me here.
Well, you have it there. I gave it to you, didn't I?
You did. Front page of the
we
Herald.
both have it, actually. Jesus, no expense spared here at 98FM. We both have the Herald here.
Front page of the Herald reads...
Crowbar attack on Clamper. Now, none of us like Clamper, sure we don't.
None of us, no.
That's fair enough to say. But he probably went a step or two too far, didn't he?
An irate driver threatened to kill a clamper before attacking him with a crowbar after the man clamped his van while it was parked illegally outside a bank. The clamper feared... Get a load of this. Now, like I said, I've had words with clampers in the past.
What words have you had? Can you repeat the words?
Not really, not on air, no.
Okay.
But I've never gone to... Wait till you hear this. The clamper feared for his life as John Purdue lost the rag and ran at him with a bar, telling him, just because you are big doesn't mean you won't be taken down. A court heard that the victim was left with a torn knee ligament following the attack in North Dublin. Purdue, who denied assault, was found guilty but spared jail time and given a 6-month suspended sentence.
What do you make of that?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like I said, we've all had a run-in with a clamper at one stage.
Oh, there's going to be run-ins, and there's going to be more run-ins, let me tell you.
Yeah, we've all had a run-in with a clamper at one stage or another.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, they're just doing their job. Much not as we might not like the job that they do.
Okay, tell me the run-in you had with a clamper. I mean, to my shame, I've cursed at clampers before.
I have myself.
A clamper clamped one of my family members' car outside my own gaff one night. She forgot to register the car, and he clamped it. And I'll be honest with you, I gave him a tirade of abuse, which probably I shouldn't have given. I mean, obviously that's going a step too far. Attacking a clamper with a crowbar.
With a crowbar. Sure it is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have to say, it's one of those jobs that I don't know how anybody does it, a clamper, because they must be getting dogs abuse day in and day out. We both admitted that we have given a clamper a bit of an ear bashing, but certainly not taking a bloody crowbar out.
I don't even have a crowbar in my car.
No, exactly. So, yeah, God love them.
But what sentence do you think, Adrian, he should have got? I mean, you announced there on the radio, you said what sentence he did. What did he get? What was handed down?
A 6-month suspended sentence, which means he won't do any time at all.
Okay, so he won't do
He does have a conviction, but he's not doing any prison time at all.
Okay, well, let's hear from you. Text or WhatsApp us on 087 798 98 98. 087 798 98 98. What do you think the punishment should have been for this man, Mr. Purdue, 59 years of age? It's shocking to hear someone that... You always think, when you think of someone in their 50s, I think you've matured at that stage. You've calmed down in life. You know what I mean? You'd expect that out of a young fella, but not out of a 15-year-old. So he threatened him, said, just because you're big, you won't be taken down, went at him with a crowbar and ended up injuring the clamper's leg. What sentence do you think would have been appropriate for Mr. John Purdue, who clearly has serious anger management issues?
Yeah.
Or was it just he got caught up in the moment and he got angry? I mean,
and like I said, I've had incidents myself where I've ended up screaming at a clamper for clamping me after 30 seconds in a shop. This guy was really over enthusiastic. He had the clamp and all on by the time I got out of the shop, where I was just buying a sandwich. I was gone for 3 minutes.
Okay, this person texted in and said, the trick with clampers is to always be nice and respectful to them. They're just doing a job. Carry an angle grinder with you and cut the clamp off. No issues. So where do you find, if you're clamped on Thomas Street, where do you find a socket to plug an angle grinder into?
They run on petrol.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
They do.
They don't.
They do.
Sorry, I have one.
Yeah.
They're electric.
Well, that's a cheap one. A decent one.
Well, it was a cheap one, yeah.
A decent one will run on a petrol motor.
Really?
Yeah.
And we're not encouraging, by the way, the cut off of clamps.
Lads, please don't say my name, as my job would go mad. But I'm a clamper, and more than once I've been hit in work. More than once. Actually assaulted, like hit.
Why don't you speak up about it then? I don't know why you don't want to talk publicly about it. I don't see the shame in it. Do you?
No, not really, but obviously the company will go mad. And that's the point. It must be, say if a bouncer gets a dig, you kind of expect it in that line of work, if you're doing security or whatever, but not when you're just putting a clamp on. It must be one of the most difficult jobs to do. Now, I know a lot of the lads just don't give a damn that they get shouted at. It's like water off a duck's back with a lot of them. But he was hit more than once.
Nigel has been on social media saying he should spend 3 months actually working as a clamper as punishment. I mean, I think he got off fairly lightly. Do you not?
Yes, he did. He'll do no prison time at all. And just that person, I can't talk on air. It is company policy. They won't let us go to media about anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, to that person, it's unfortunate that you're not allowed. That is actually illegal. It's illegal for a company to tell you where you can and cannot speak, is it not?
No, I wouldn't think so, no.
What?
No. If it's about the company.
Well, it's not about
it's
not about the company. It's about if this man has been assaulted in his workplace, has he not got a right to speak up about
it? Yeah, when he leaves the job. Not while he's still in there.
Okay, to that text, then you should probably leave the clamping company, and we'll talk to you next Monday on 98FM's Dublin Talk. No, but I think it's an important issue that we have to raise, and we have to talk about it, about the abuse, the dog's abuse that clampers get. Okay, they're doing a job. And that's horrible. Nobody wants to be clamped. There's nothing worse than arriving back to your car and seeing that big ugly yellow thing. And in fact, I hate the colour yellow because of clamps.
Because of clamps, yeah.
Isn't it? It's just it's a colour I despise, because anytime I think of yellow, I think of clamp. But is it part of the job? I mean, there's a message there. What do they expect when they put a clamp on your car and then expect you to pay €180, says Fitzy.
Sorry, who's paying €180 for a clamp?
Why, how much are they?
80 for the city council lads and 120 or 100 something like that for the private companies.
And somebody is claiming if you cut off a council clamp, they will actually... you get into trouble if you... Can you...
With the council ones?
With the council ones?
Yeah.
But if it's a private clamping company, you don't get into trouble.
There's not much they can do.
Okay, there's huge amount of text coming in on this. Keep them coming in. 0877 98 98 98. What do you think of clampers? Do they deserve the hard time they get? And should this man... I mean, Adrian announced there the sentence that was handed down to him. It was
6 months suspended sentence.
So he got nothing. He won't even step foot inside...
well, except that he does have a record now. He does have a criminal record now. But yeah, he won't do... He won't do any time at all. Now, you've another story for me, and I'd be very interested to find out how people feel about this. And this is all to do with something that used to happen when I was younger anyway, but doesn't happen anymore, and I'm curious to know why.
Yeah.
Kevin, you reckon there's a reason why people lose it with the clampers?
Look, yeah, of course there is. It's widespread hatred of them. Now, and in saying that, I don't like clampers. I'm no shape or form a fan of them. I've never been clamped though. But it's their sneaky stealth approach that they take to getting a clamp on a car. Like you just said, you were 3 minutes in the shop, boom.
Yes, and I literally was 3 minutes, and that's not an exaggeration. I was exactly 3 minutes.
I don't believe it.
And by the time I came out, he had the clamp already on.
They're like little ninjas waiting, spotting the cars that are jumping out. Even I've heard stories. We've all had a story. I was going to the ticket machine to get on those clampers when I came back. That's what they do. That's the widespread hatred, that their tactics. It's not that they have a job to do. We understand it's a necessary evil.
Okay, no, they are vultures. Now, this is something.
Oh, yeah, totally.
This is something I've always wanted to find out, Kevin. I don't know how true this is. Are they on commission for the amount of clamps they put on a car?
I would say I don't know. Actually, I haven't heard. I've never been clamped. I don't know. It's just our tactics, and that's what the widespread hatred of it is. Well, I'm sure there's some benefit for them being so tactile.
Well, I don't know if anybody can confirm or deny that. It's something I've always wanted to know. And there's no point in hearsay. Oh, my brother told me, me granny's cat told me about it. Can anybody confirm a fact? Do clampers get more money the more clamps they put on cars? Now, as Kevin was saying, it would seem the answer is yes, because otherwise, why don't they just sit? There has to be some incentive. Otherwise, they just sit in the side of the van eating donuts all day.
If they're from the corporation, I assume they're not because they're on a base wage. But I'm sure if they're a private company, the more cars they clamp, the people who've hired them pay them more money. So I would say private-wise, they're more the vulture sort of clampers.
Yeah, and any run-ins I've had with clampers have on 2 occasions.
Jesus, how many run-ins have you had?
A few, but they were always the private clamping companies, not the city council lads.
It's in their. I can only imagine common sense would prevail. It's in their best interest to clamp as many and as often as they can.
It would have to be because
regardless of circumstance.
Yes, because clampers are just human. So
I wouldn't say that now.
Oh, they're a subspecies. Is that what you're saying?
How can I put it? Their conscience. They're without conscience to a certain degree because they're thinking of the money that's going into their wallet. They're not thinking. They don't give it down.
Well, yeah, because I don't care.
Sorry. Go on.
I don't care. I don't care how much the company I work for really makes. I mean, it makes no difference to me. I come in and do my job. I don't care about 98FM's profit margins at the end of the year. So why would a clamper, who's at the lowest rung of the ladder of that company, like I am at this company,
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like the worker bee. I'm like the worker bee in the hive. Why would a clamper care how much money his company turns over a year? So what I'm trying to think of, say,
it could be like a 0-hour contract. If you don't clamp anybody, you don't get paid. It could be that simple. It could be just in the contract that all right, the more you clamp, the more you get paid.
No, but I'm thinking of William. William is a clamper, okay, Adrian, and he's driving around in his van at the moment, and he's listening to 98FM. Yeah, okay, and he sees a car parked outside a doctor's surgery, and there's a woman after going into the surgery, and she forgot to pay the ticket. Now, why doesn't he just ignore that and just drive by the car?
He forgot. It could be even worse than that. She could have left the car to go pay for a ticket and be clamped by the time she gets back. That's how horrible these people. That's why I say no conscience. That's the way they operate. And I'm not saying they all operate the same way.
Let me just read out one final message on this. If you park illegally, you can be clamped instantly. If you park legally, they must give you 10 minutes or within reason to allow you to go and get change. So when Adrian was clamped, he must have been parked illegally. I was, Jason. I'm not denying that I was parked illegally, causing no obstruction to anybody. I ran in to get a sandwich, and by the time I got back out, he already had the clamp on. I was not impressed. Anyway, now...
Was it a pre-made sandwich or one of those...
It was a pre-made sandwich.
Yeah, you're mad into those. No. You don't know when they've been made, Adrian.
The sandwiches?
Yeah, Adrian's mad into buying these sandwiches that are already in the packets.
Yeah.
And we call them, what do we call them?
Airport sandwiches.
Airport sandwiches. He buys, like every lunchtime here, he goes out to some shop and comes back with the sandwich in the packet. Why don't you get them made? Get them made in front of you.
They're fresh.
How do you know?
They were made this morning.
Says who?
They have a sell-by date on them.
Says who, though?
Well, I've never gotten a bad one, put it that way. Anyhow, something happened to you over the weekend that left you surprised.
Yeah, this is a bit of a throwback to your childhood for you listening, because if you grew up in the 70s or 80s or even the 90s, you will be aware that hand-me-downs were a huge thing. And this is where you would receive clothes from a family member or a cousin or a neighbour, because the clothes no longer fit them and they were going to fit you. Well, on Friday, just gone, Friday of last week, we did a bit of clear out of Little Dixon's wardrobe. Because as you know, kids go through an amazing amount of clothes because they grow so fast.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The shirt you're wearing, you probably have 5 years.
Yes. Yeah, probably, yeah.
It shows. No, but you know what I mean? We keep clothes. But if you're a kid, you wear something 3 times or 4 times and then it's too small for you. So anyway, we filled 2 black bags full of Little Dixon's old clothes that he no longer needed. Some of the clothes hadn't been worn at all. Some of them had just been worn once, maybe washed once. And I texted around a few friends, family members who have younger kids, a few neighbours, asking them, and I said to them, listen, we're throwing out a load of kids' clothes. I have 2 big black bags here. Would you be interested in taking them? Not one person took us up on the offer.
Really?
Now, they were very polite.
Not one?
Not one person. They were very polite and they said, no, we're okay, thanks. We're okay, thanks.
Now, I'm curious, if you got offered boys' clothes for your child's age, a bag of them, would you take it?
Yeah, it's not about me, but it's about you. I want to hear.
I'm curious to know.
Yeah, but
would you if you got the exact same offer?
Okay, I want to hear from you. Text or WhatsApp us on 087 798 98 98. 087 798 98 98. It's a simple question. Would you accept hand-me-down? And that's a horrible word, actually. Can we come up with a different phrase?
But that's exactly what it is, though.
I hate that phrase,
It is
hand-me-downs.
hand-me-downs, yeah.
Hey, can you give me a different phrase?
No, hand-me-downs.
No, I'm not using that phrase.
Then we end the conversation.
Oh, okay. Would you accept hand-me-down clothes from somebody else for your child? Okay, text or WhatsApp us 087 798 98 98. Because here's what I believe. Okay, here's what I believe. I believe that it's probably offensive to not accept clothes from somebody that you know quite well. I think it's quite offensive. I think we're at this attitude, this snobby attitude. I grew up in an era, Adrian, where you regularly got second-hand things.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, the television we had in our house was a second-hand television.
But the question still stands. If that same offer were made to you with a bag of clothes that would fit your young fella, would you take them?
Who knows? It's a hypothetical question. Nobody has offered me clothes, so until that happens...
Jason.
Where's Mr. Dixon?
He's sitting here beside me.
Is he sitting there? Do you not remember a conversation me and you had last year?
Yeah. Oh, this was about a similar discussion.
Exact same discussion. I offered you a bag of never worn...
Yeah, you did.
Party new clothes for little Mr. Dixon. And you point blank refused.
Yeah, and there's a difference here, Jason.
What's the difference?
The difference is I don't know you from Adam. Well, no, I mean,
no, my name is Jason, not Adam.
No, but I don't know you from Adam. I don't know.
What difference does that make?
I don't know what your house is like. You could live in an absolute hellhole of a house where it's dirty, filthy, unhygienic. That's no offence, Jason. I've met you a couple of times at 98FM parties. You seem like a lovely fella. You seem nice and clean and well scrubbed up. But I don't. But I don't know. I don't know your living conditions. That's why
What's that got to do with anything?
Because
do you not think I'd be washing the clothes before I give them to you? I wouldn't just throw a load of dirty old clothes in a bag. Nobody would do that.
But you're a stranger.
Only friends I haven't met yet.
No. That's the difference. I'm talking about
I don't see the difference.
Yes,
You've been offered a bag of...
Well, hang on, Adrian. Hang on. Stay there for a second, Jason. Hang on, Adrian. If a random man came up to you on the street and said...
No, Jason's hardly a random man. He regularly calls our show.
Yeah, but he's still he's a random listener.
And
I'm saying if a randomer came up to you on the street, Adrian, tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Good afternoon, sir.
Would you like a bag of clothes?
That shirt you're wearing looks nice, but would you like the shirt that I have on me right now?"
That's a bit different.
That's different.
It's not. The point is, Jason, that the people I offered it to were family members, friends, and neighbours who I know very well, and they all refused them.
Yeah. Okay, but Jason, would you accept a bag of clothes? Have you ever accepted a bag of clothes?
Oh, Jesus, yeah. That's how my kids will be walking around making now.
Oh, well, there you go.
See, Jason, even talking to you now, you sound uncleansed.
What are you saying?
You sound uncleansed.
You
I'm
can't
sorry.
say that
I'm
to our
sorry.
listeners.
It has to be said. Uncleansed.
How do I sound uncleansed?
You sound like the type of person that's uncleansed. When was your last shower?
About 6 hours ago.
6, yeah, that's disgusting. Go have a shower.
Why, when was your last shower? 20 minutes ago?
About 4 hours ago.
Thanks, Jason. Would you or have you ever or do you regularly accept hand-me-down clothes?
Have you anything second-hand in your house?
Have I anything second-hand?
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, I'm asking you like what?
Well, I got for example, about 5 shirts from a family friend a couple of years ago that he only wore once and they didn't fit him anymore because he'd lost a lot of weight. And I took those 5 shirts.
You never wore them.
I do.
Here, I'll turn
off. I was actually wearing one of them last Friday.
I'm going to turn off the microphones. Wait, turn off the microphones. Nobody has to hear this. Hang on a sec. Wait, just let me click the button. There we go. Now, did you ever wear the shirts?
Yeah. I was wearing one last Friday.
Nobody listening.
I know, but I was wearing one last Friday.
The shirt you wore last Friday, you got in Louis Copeland's.
No, I've never bought that in the Louis Copeland's. Joe, you're on 98FM. How are you, Joe?
How you doing, guys?
Joe, you regularly get clothes from a cousin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're my cousin's son's clothes for my son.
Yeah, cousin's son. I don't know. Is that?
Now, when I tell you, my cousins travel a lot, and their son is dressed
in the best of designer clothes. Hugo Boss, Ralph Lauren, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So now my son is the best dressed kid in Lucan because
right, and
he's nicer clothes than I have.
Right, and these are all hand-me-downs.
All hand-me-downs, yeah.
And
but fabulous quality clothes. Like it's a shame to. It'd be a sin to throw them out, like.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The 2 bags now, they eventually, I gave the bags to charity over the weekend. But I would have liked to give them to someone that I knew. But here's the question, because there's people giving me abuse about this. I have a question for you, Joe, okay?
Yes.
So you don't know me. Have we ever met?
No.
No, we've never met. I'm always drinking in the Lord Luke, and I'm surprised we've never bumped into each other. It's our favourite pubs. But if I turned around to you, Joe, and said, I'm going to make you some fairy cakes and bring them over to your house, would you eat fairy cakes that I made you? Take your time there, Joe.
I do like fairy cakes.
Everybody likes fairy cakes, yeah. Would you eat a batch of fairy cakes that I made for you? Now, you don't know me from Adam. I could have dirty fingernails. I mean, there's nothing worse than dirty fingernails.
No, but like you buy fairy cakes in the shop, or like you don't know who's had to making them either.
Yeah, but Joe, I'm making you 12 fairy cakes.
I'd eat them, yeah. I'd eat the fairy cakes.
Would you?
I wouldn't, but I wouldn't take your kids' clothes off.
Okay, but your son is really well dressed thanks to the hand-me-downs.
He really has. He's a nicer wardrobe than I have by far.
Very
like
good.
I'm looking at some of his t-shirts. They're lovely, nice colours. As I say, all Ralph Lauren, Hugo Boss. Best of everything.
But one of the great things about me, Joe, is I've lost so much weight and I'm in such good shape that in about another year's time, that in a year's time, myself and my son will be actually able to swap clothes. That's actually true. I'm actually buying.
You're going to shrink, are you?
I'm buying the last T-shirt I bought, Joe, for myself. I bought in Baby Gap. True story.
Yeah, whatever. Stephanie, by the way, everybody who's contacting us is saying they would, no problem. Except
I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
Stephanie.
Hi guys, what's going on?
You would also 100% accept them?
100%, yeah.
Have you ever?
Pregnant. Yeah, I have. And I'm pregnant at the moment, and my partner's cousin offered me a bag of clothes, and I was like, yep, I'll definitely take them. Then I actually have bags in my attic from my sister. Now, her kids are 8 and 15, and I have bags from when she gave them to me. She was like, oh, look, do you want to hang on to these in case, like, you ever have kids? Yeah, grand, pop them up the attic. So I'll be taking them down, washing them, just making sure, that they're okay, because obviously they've been up there for at least 8 years. But 100%, yeah. I even take stuff off my sister, whatever. We swap clothes and not a bother taking things, hand-me-downs.
But it appears, now I know we're after having loads of calls from people saying they do it, but it would appear that an awful lot of people won't.
Maybe it's just my friends that are up their own arse.
That probably is fairly accurate.
I mean, I'm in sort of
personal opinion, personal preference. Yeah.
Well, my friends will be in a higher socioeconomic background. Sort of, they're very, they're
very what?
We're talking the elite. My friends are. They're the elite. But Stephanie, I remember when my missus was pregnant, and this is probably going a bit too far, Stephanie.
Hello.
Yes, hi, Stephanie.
Yeah, sorry, no, you broke up a bit there.
Oh no, I'm still with my wife. We're okay. We did break up for a bit, but we're back together. No, I remember when my wife was pregnant, Stephanie, a friend of hers offered a maternity bra. Do you want me second?
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, sure. Give me that as well.
A second-hand bra?
No, I'm only joking. I wouldn't. Well, sure, it mightn't fit. Might be a different size, though.
Yeah, but women...
If it fit, yeah, I'd take it.
No, women get leaky nipples when they're pregnant and all that.
Yeah, but they only wear them for a small amount of time, so stick it in the washing machine and then I'll have it.
But she didn't take the bra, did she?
No, she did take the bra. Turn the microphones off for this. Hang on, Stephanie, hang in there.
Okay.
She
took the bra because she didn't want to be insulting. This is a maternity bra. This is the bra her mate wore when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And when she was lactating, she took the bra, brought it home, sent a message to her friend saying thanks for the bra, and threw it in the bin straight away. Would you wear a second-hand bra? You need one.
And finally, Shamek.
Hello, guys. How are you? I'm here.
Very good, thank you, Shamek. Now, you would also accept clothes, no bother.
Oh, yeah, of course. Me and my missus are expecting a newborn baby as well, so we just did it. We just got offered 2 bags of our friend that have a 2-year-old daughter, so I don't see any problem with it. Some of them were never worn, still with the labels on.
Yes.
So, you know with the small kids, sometimes they get the clothes for a week, for a month, and then they're perfectly new. Or for example, our older daughter is a 6-year-old, and her friends are a little bit bigger than her. Her best friend offer us a winter jacket. How long will she wear a winter jacket? A month or 2? So it's like a brand new. Why not take it? Why not to recycle things?
Okay, so you're basically saying you'd be mad not to accept them.
Oh yeah, well if it's nice and if it's still good to go, why not? Especially sometimes it's offending to people that offers you something not to take it.
But again, I have to ask you the question, Shamak. If I were to cook you an apple pie, would you eat an apple pie that I made you?
Slightly different.
Well,
slightly different.
Let's put it this way: if you're a good baker and if you won't poison me, I would take it. I like good cakes. Why not?
Well, I'll never forget the day when we moved into our house, and this is going back a few years ago, Shamak, and one of the neighbours, and it's such an American thing to do, one of the neighbours, the first week that we moved in, arrived over with a rhubarb crumble that she'd made. And she was like, well, welcome to this estate. You're going to be very happy here. I've made you a rhubarb crumble. Now, I've never met this woman. I didn't know this woman from Adam, Shamak. She arrives at our doorstep with a rhubarb crumble that she'd made. Now, honestly.
Did you eat it?
No, I didn't, Jesus.
Okay, but did you took it?
Yeah, I took it, obviously.
But you
took it. You didn't like to be rude against her, yeah.
That's your missus taking a bra and throwing it in the bin, and you taking a rhubarb crumble and throwing it in the bin.
She could have been flicking cigarette ash into the rhubarb crumble. Yeah, but what?
Weirdo. Anyway, the majority of people will still accept a bag of clothes, so your friends are obviously just different.
Yeah, the elite. That's what they are. You still didn't tell me one second-hand thing you have in your house, by the way, besides your shirt. Oh, your car.
Well, obviously a car's...
Sorry, in fact, there you go. The glaring thing that's been all over us, every single one of us listening has bought someone else's car. And every single one of us is married to a second-hand property.
Is married to a second-hand
property? Your wife
property?
is second-hand property, my wife is second-hand property. They've all had men before they had us.
Oh, right.
Nobody marries a virgin.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
The sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m.
With Adrian